and welcome to our latest video. This is Earnship Odin, Norse god, apparently. That's why it's called Valhalla Rising. Anyway, this is the video we made of our Odin Earnship. Just going to go through some kitment that we randomly smash on it, because this is random. Anyway, no, Colours 05. Aiming system's useful.
Yeah, I've gone with aiming system as well, but it's not to say you can't select the other options on this. It's pretty player dependent how you want to do it. I mean, you've already talked about using it secondary, we'll look at in a minute, but dispersion time and then turret turn times, traverse turn on your torpedo tubes, always handy. But that's not a bad one. It's secondaries.
Secondaries.
20% on your range, and then dispersion as well, improvement on that.
I reckon I might give it a go eventually. I know at the moment we've got aiming systems, but I'm never going to bother with traverse speed.
Well, I'll come to with playstyle and I'll show why that's not always a good option, which is a bit odd.
What, traverses?
No, the secondaries.
Secondaries.
Why it don't quite work at tier 7 like it does it in lower tiers.
True.
So I've gone propulsion as well, but again, I would be tempted to go without the damage control.
Yeah, you do burn a lot.
Up close and personal. Again, the steering mod's another one you could use just to get, because you're going to have to get them torpedo tubes off you've got on the Odin, and it's always handy to be able to turn a little bit quicker on your rudder shift time to get them off one direction to another. So again, any of them three is usable, but will help you. No choice on the third one. You stuck with it, and it's quite handy as well.
You definitely stuck with that
the
one.
Spotting range and the torp range. I mean, that is handy, because I mean, I ain't got that on the game I play. I ain't got enough coin.
Doesn't show the prices on here, but that one's 2 million. 2 million coin, that one.
And the last one, I went with the same as you, secondaries, and I'll tell you why as we go through it. It's always handy. They're potent, like we've already said. It's a German battleship. They're always pretty potent. That one I didn't like. Remember, this is Sharnus. If you've played the Sharnus in now, you lose your torpedo tubes quite often.
Yeah.
To have a 50% chance of even more, then you're near enough guaranteeing them being gone. It's not great. And again, main battery, that's another one. The Traverse puts me off it, because these are quick firing guns, so I like my Traverse as it is, as quick as I can possibly get it, and it's not like my reload needs a buff. Yeah, that's what I mean, so I like it as it is. I wouldn't like it to be worse with a quicker reload.
You'd pay coin for the other one to increase it, and then you've just lost it.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, they're the upgrades anyway, so we'll have a look at some statistics. This is where the ship starts to fall down, and we'll talk more about the guns, but we'll talk about the shells first. You can see there you've got your reload down to 18 seconds, but only 3,600 shell damage.
It's not
which
good.
Is pretty poor. That 27% chance of fire doesn't feel like that. And your range is pretty poor as well.
It's shocking, isn't it?
But you've got commanders that have caused that.
He's not helping a lot, is he?
And again, the AP, you're down as much as 4,000 to 5,000 on a tier 7 battleship damage with an AP round. Don't get me wrong, you're going to be firing them off a little bit quicker, because you're down there cruiser reload time, but it's hard to get them to pen.
But don't forget, my distance on my guns isn't an actual true negative. Not for the playstyle.
Not because you're up close and personal, you have to keep it at range. There's the torps, 13,700 damage, 6 kilometers Sharnus, and nice range,
and fast,
and 64 knots. And this is where there's some subtle changes coming up when it comes to consumables. Infinite use as a damage party control. You can see there, 10.5 seconds. I mean, that's That's a pretty poor duration time, but that's because the commander you've got. We'll look at that in a second and why that's as low as it is. But you've got infinite use of them. Again, your commander's got your 2 extra repair party consumables, and you've got an extra boost as well on that HP recovered per second.
Positive and a negative.
Yeah. So they last 28 seconds and just, we'll say 70-second reload time as it comes off. This is the change. This is where you can swap things out, and we've gone with spotter play. Now I've gone with spotter as well, which gives you a 10% increase on your dispersion of your guns when firing, and it feels a lot better than that. It feels a lot more than 10%, but only 30 seconds.
Yeah. And
it does take over 3 minutes to reload. So use it sparingly. You get 4 of them as well, or you can put in the fighter if you prefer the fighter. Again, not the longest one, but it's a battleship, so you get a minute and a half out of it. Average damage 60, reload time same, just over 3 minutes. So we're not gaining or losing anything there. Sonar. Andy, 3.5 on torpedoes and 5 kilometers on ships. Andy, very handy when you play this ship up close and personal, because you're going to be dueling with destroyers, let's be honest. It's a general trait.
No, I take out quite a lot of destroyers in me.
And you like to put these on as well, don't you? You like your epic boosters.
Well, look at these. Range of guns, 3%. Movement speed, 3%. reload time and consumables 5%. That's good.
Yeah.
It's a very handy booster actually. I like to use it, especially when you've only got 15 something kilometer gun range. Anyway, special thank you for our community contributor Camo. We have got a limited amount, 100 I think it started out.
Yeah.
I've been wasting them,
You've been
man.
burning for them.
Yeah, burnt them.
So we'll have a look at the statistics. Survivability 76. Armor wise, it's not great, and hit points wise, it's low.
360,
For a tier 7,
same as
it is really
Bismarck,
low.
but it's got less hit
It's
points.
got less hit points than the Bismarck. The guns, this is a major problem with this ship. 305.
305.
You're talking Nikolai caliber guns in tier 4, but this is tier 7. The shell damage we already mentioned is far substantially lower than you normally get from a tier 7 ship. Penetration is not that great either because of the caliber of guns. Secondaries, you're not talking Bismarck secondaries on this. They're
Not
nowhere
9K,
near as
are
potent. No, 6.3. But
Yeah.
they do the same damage as your Bismarck ones. Just can't fire that far. And you've got that boosted up at that as well, haven't you?
Yeah. Oh,
Torpedoes.
God, yeah. Wasn't
They are what they are.
it? 6 kilometers.
6 kilometers. Quite fast, 64 knots. Detectable at 1.3, but let's be honest, they've got to know they're coming anyway. Well before they get detected. Damage is it's okay, but you've got to remember you're going to be torping battleships with anything up to 40 plus reduction in torpedo damage, so be careful when you use them, as in showing your side to get an extra couple of torpedoes
definitely.
in. Movement speed's quite high, 30.9, so you've got over 2 knots on a Bismarck, which it is what it is, and the turning circle 790 is not great, but it is concealed pretty well. 14.4. I don't know if it's also got much to do with the camo, but it's quite good that for a battleship at tier 7.
I think the camo is 4.5%, so it does help.
It's classed as ironclad, which is the same as a Bismarck's plus points, where it's armoured up to withstand most forms of penetration.
Yeah.
Don't quite feel that way. I'm going to be honest when you play it. It's quite fast, like they said there, practically 31 knots. But there's that major negative, the modest guns.
Modest.
And you can see the Odin at the bottom. It says it's one of the designs made before the Sharness were made just with uprated guns. So if you like Sharness, you like your Eisenhower, this is kind of the same play style.
Oh,
The only reason I love my Eisenhower. The only reason it falls down
is
tier 7.
Oh yeah, it puts you up a tier.
Yeah, so it puts, and the playstyle completely changes, and we'll see that as this game goes on. You've gone for Otto in yours, haven't you?
Yeah.
Whereas I went for Reinhard Scheer, who I like in my Eisenhower. So there you go. That's why you've got your reload down to 18 seconds, and you've got your detectable range up, which is pretty handy in a ship that you're going to place up close and personal. Also, the range of your guns has been decreased, but when you're playing it like you play it and I play it,
doesn't really matter, does it?
No.
It's not a sniper anyway, don't forget.
No.
These guns are not snipey guns.
No. And you're not doing a lot of damage at range anyway, so you'd be wasting this ship sitting at the back.
Yeah.
It'd be pointless. I mean, there you go. You've gone with the range of your secondary, so that's 6.3. It's still nowhere near 9.2 of the Bismarck, is it? And you've got all these boosters on it as well. So
it's very true.
you can see you're just going to be toe to toe with Bismarck. You've got torpedoes over him, but that's about it.
Definitely, it's got bigger guns.
I don't know why you go with Traverse. I'd stick with the other one.
No.
And I never use this on any.
No, I've not
ship
used it yet. No.
Shell type switch time by 45%. Because look at the one you get next to it. 8% reload, 8% risk of catching fire improvement, but that's why your damage control's down to 10 seconds.
It does decrease the fires down to 3 instead of 4.
Yeah.
Which is
handy.
Very good when you get set on fire a lot, like I do.
It's same with this next trait we're going to look at on the one down. The consumables you get extra is just, I don't think you can not select it.
+2.
+2. Amount of HP recovered 8% and a reload time of 8%. That is amazing, that perk.
Yeah.
And it only gets better as you go down an extra 10% if you upgrade it a little bit further. Not really needed. We just said that we don't really want range guns. We're going to get up close and personal when we can. The only problem with doing that in tier 7, we'll just mention that first, 6% recovered. That's what you've gone with in there. Probably best perk, to be fair.
Yeah.
And then we'll look really shift time.
No. I don't think it's worth it. Look at your negative.
Yeah, mine battery dispersion is up. So yeah, we'll stick with that.
I'm tempted to change my inspirations, definitely.
Shell groupings, it's always handy. And then range of secondaries. Again, look how much perks you've got on that and you've still only got it to.
Yes, 6.4. Yes, 6.3, sorry.
So it's swings and roundabouts. So, but this is how you play. It's how I play Man Eisenhower. But at tier 7, what do most battleships do at tier 7?
Sit on the back line, isn't it?
Or go backwards.
That's that white line at the back that gives you extra camo and you can't hit it.
So we're going to see it in this game. It's manoeuvrable, it's fast, you can keep up with your cruisers, which is always handy, but I hate to say it, but at Tier 7 your cruisers don't even push forward. I always seem to get that team who wants to sit all the way back and never actually take a step forward.
Yeah.
Do get some backup in this game, to be fair, so I'm going to push forward. It negates the lack of range of guns, but that's a different commander I'm using in man. I've got, like I said, I've got Reinhard Shear in it, so I've kept that up at 17, I think, something like that.
Okay. And
you're going to see in this game the pluses of the Odin and the negatives of the Odin. That's why we picked this game to show. It's hard to get it into a situation on some maps that allow it to use its positives, if that makes sense.
Well, what's its main positive then?
It's firepower, up close and personal. But to do that, you're talking like in 6k for your torp range, your secondaries, and your guns negated by the lack of caliber.
Yeah.
It's a long time, and at Tier 7, when you're that first battleship spotted, you're that first battleship forward, this happens. You are the focal point of every single other player on that team is fired.
So you need a team that pushes forward with you.
Yeah. On a map that allows that to happen as well.
Did we not do that on our first game on our first stream?
Yeah, we kind of did the old clock system though, didn't we? Where we went left and they went left, and we just kind of looped round and started in their spawn and they were in ours. And it didn't work out too well. Team come with us, but nobody were there. Yeah. So we just ended up chasing everybody around like a dog trying to catch its tail.
That's funny.
So you're going to see in this game that we're on fire.
We've been smashed already, man.
It starts terribly, So we've got a York there. We've let some shots off at that York. We've got a Fiji, so I've got to watch his torp. Chance me on, let them torpedoes off first.
May as well.
Fiji's backing straight back up into his smoke. He's already laid down. There's that reload's pretty good for a battleship. You're up there with like the upper reload time or a cruiser at Tier 7.
What is it, 20 seconds?
Yeah, yours is 18 then, and I think it is around about 14, 15, so you're not far behind cruisers.
That is very good for Tier 7 battleship. But like you say, you've got modest guns, so you need them extra rounds, don't you?
I mean, the secondaries have started up there. They're not doing them. I mean, 9 an hour, I mean, he's full siders on. Normally, when you see a battleship siders on in any battleship, your eyes light up and you're thinking, yes, let's have it. In this, you're thinking, chance me arm, we're not going to dodge a couple of
times. Are we using the right game?
I'm saying, it's not going well, is it? And this is why I want to show this one, because this is the point I'm trying to make. To get it into positions where it's potent, it gets rinsed.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult. You've got to get the right map, the right scenario.
Right team.
Yeah, just to get that scenario to work properly for you. Just lost there. So we've lost half his hit points here, and we've hardly got anywhere. We've got literally
He's still burning them.
Yeah, we're still burning.
So what we're saying is, if you play up, if you go balls deep, technically,
too fast, like this,
you've got to be very, very careful, ain't you? Yeah. Very careful. But it can work.
Yeah. I mean, that Eisenhower's having a field day.
He's stayed side on for ages.
Yes, and look behind me. It's not like I ain't got a backup on this flank.
How many times have you been that side on?
I think just got absolutely creamed. I mean, didn't even take any damage there. They all missed him. All shots. They look like they're just going to clip back him. I mean, you are basically an INT and Eisenhower.
Yeah, technically.
It just feels like the guns are a little bit lacking on the Odin to even the Eisenhower. The Eisenhower's not got massively hardcore guns on it.
We suffer from the German trait of missing stuff when you shoot.
Yeah.
That's why the reason we say you've got to play it up close and personal is because the guns are very I won't say they're unlucky, it's very...
I mean, look at this, Ellen. Any other ship there, even in a cruiser, if I've got AP loads, I'm taking that Eleanor out.
Yeah.
And look at that dispersion. And look at what I bet with one.
Yeah.
And the shot plane down. But
sweet.
I'd have expected to take that Elena out.
It's the dispersion which is the issue, but that's German from Tier 5.
And he's not that far away. He's just over 8 kilometres.
Well, you got your spotter plane. You can use him.
He's reloaded. I mean, look at that again. That's another volley.
But with your modest caliber guns.
I would still have expected to hit a cruiser siders on and take him out with that much health left.
No, that's what I'm saying. Modest caliber guns, cruiser. They're your bait, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's what you want.
That should be a staple diet. These guns should be potent against cruisers, like the Nikolai at tier 4. There, gun's gone. That happens a lot as well. The over Iowa. So at this point, I'm trying to sneak up on this Iowa to a degree. I'm spotted by a plane though that's annoying me to a degree. I'm quite lucky in this game because I didn't have much luck playing it. But if there were a destroyer on that game, he were after me. He was signalling me out. He didn't care about anybody else.
Why have you put your spotter plane up? There's no one there.
I was going to try and spot this Iowa. And
tier 5 Iowa.
Yeah, and I'm thinking at this point, he's pretty well angled there. He's a little bit side on, so he's tempted to be in, and I think I might be able to do a little bit to him. But are we going to do a lot of damage? Yes.
Yeah.
Finally, a decent roll of decent amount of damage. Got some backup waves, and usual tier 7 battleship. What is he going to do? He's going to reverse now all the way to back map, and I can't touch him.
He's still going.
If you notice, Dan, I'm going to expose myself too much to the left-hand flank. On my left-hand flank, if I go chasing after the Iowa.
Thing is now,
catch-22.
Now you want to be turning up the map to go and capture B, but you can't because that Iowa's just sitting there.
Yeah, and I'd be siders onto an Iowa, and that's not going to end well. So I've got to try and stay face onto the Iowa. I switched now, if you notice, to HE.
Yeah, I would do
so that. I've shown a little bit too much. I thought I'd try and get a sneaky rear gun action in there.
Yeah.
Well, he's just fired because I know my reload's quicker. I hit with one. I hit with one shell. And this sums up. I mean, I've got an Amagi now, so I've got to try and square up and face onto the Iowa and the Amagi, or it's not going to end well.
You've got island now. Use the island.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to squash into that island there. So you can see what I mean. This is what I mean. Up close and personal, this ship's good.
Yeah.
But if things can keep the distance from you so easily at tier 7.
When we play tier 6 and 7, and we see a Gneisen and a Sharnos, what do we always say? Keep away from him. Yeah. Because you know what he's like.
Yeah.
This is what they're doing.
Yeah. It just feels like we saw in that last game, that Eisenhower, they're so hard to damage in Eisenhower. He's full-sided on, and it's not just because I'm in this with low-caliber guns. They're hard to do damage to.
But they sit low down in the water.
Yeah, I haven't got the confidence in the Odin to go siders on out in a tier 7 game with other battleships in it.
What, with an Amagi and an Iowa?
Yeah.
Wanting to shoot at you? Yeah, definitely.
So look at that dispersion again. 2 we managed to land this time. 2. We burned through a spot plane, like I said before. I'm going to keep trying to use the repair patches.
30 seconds. There's no wrong with that.
Yeah.
I thought you were whinging about those. 30 seconds for a patch is good.
I'm used to my Nelson. Where I can recover like 30,000 in one go.
True.
So we finally get a fire going. We finally set him on fire. So he's used his repair patch, so that should keep him burning for a while.
We've said in our Sharnos video previously that at range, the staple round is HE because you're not sure if you're going to hit anything to start with. Yeah. Never mind penetrating.
You're not going for a weak spot, are you? You're not trying to. Even if his side is on, you still probably stick to it.
Yeah, you might think, why is he firing HE? Because we don't know if we're going to hit you. Yeah. That's why we're firing HE.
Yeah, and it's working nicely. We're racking a bit of damage up here.
But I think it's a worthwhile tactic. I've got to admit, it does work, especially in your German stuff. I mean, anything else, I probably would go. Probably stick with HE.
So we've finished him off now, and we've ploughed us in strange island. The Amagi's been taking pot shots, as you noticed all the way through that.
Yeah.
That
I did see
close encounter there. So we're still quite equal. We've got the advantage of one ship on top of them, but that Amagi's still got a fair bit of health left. We've burned through all repair patches now.
They've gone.
They've gone. We've gone through. I think it's 4.
Yeah, I think you had
4 repair patches. So yeah, it's not the best. I mean. This is what the torpedo angle on this ship. We've not seen it. You're going to see it coming up shortly. It feels way more siders on action. You need to get them off than I'd ever think you'd have to.
If I can remember the Gneisen, you have to turn a lot of side. Definitely.
So I've switched back to AP now. We've just lost 2 ships very quickly. So that numerical advantage we had has just gone. Charles Martel. He's nearly full health.
Oh, the Martels. You don't see many of them about, do you? Actually, you've got some very rare ships in this game.
Look at this Amagi.
Yeah, exactly. I don't see many Amagis.
Siders on. At this point, you're normally thinking, any other battleship, even if I'm in a tier 6 battleship and you see an Amagi, look at that.
I was going to say, just aim slightly
hit him and it's bounced.
Just aim slightly to the rear of its funnel. going to say aim. I'm not saying you're going to hit it.
No, I say that's the problem. You never know. We're trying to get that rear gun in play again as well.
He's
turned
got
away.
too much angle on it. Yeah, man.
So we've let him go now. He's been surprised what you get from him. So there you go. Bounced another 2. We've got 1 in there.
Just give him some HE, man.
I mean, this is the problem. If you're one of them Gene Bar Iowa players who just sit at the back of the map, stay face on, and start reversing when somebody comes near you, you're going to struggle in this ship.
You've only got to try and chase him down, haven't you?
You're going to struggle big time in this ship. For those people who like the Tirpitz, the Sharners, and Eisenhower, this is going to be more for you. Just hasn't got the punch that Eisenhower's got, or said Tirpitz. When it comes to like hit points, you're down on the bottom end of the hit points pool. Armour, you're down on the bottom half of the armour pool. Even, we didn't mention it, but 22% reduction in torpedo damage, which is the same as Bismarck, but it's higher than like some of them. There's a couple who are lower, but when you talk about your Margies up in the 40s.
Don't forget we keep saying about the Gneisenau and the Sharners. They only see tier 5, 6 and 7.
Well, let's have a look at this. We've got AP rounds loaded. We've got 2 front guns pointing. We'll let them off at this Charles Martel. 4 bounces. 4 bounces. This is what guns you're dealing with.
Yeah, that angled nice, didn't he?
Too nice. And this is the frustrating bit, because we reload these guns now.
You're like a fire starter.
Yeah, he's not too dissimilar. He's just turned a little bit more, and fire off again. He's got the back gun.
Here you go.
And it's all or nothing.
And you missed his torpedo.
Yeah, that's what I find in the cruisers. This ship is all or nothing. Helena, you shoot him, pitter patter at him, wipe him out. There's no in between play with the Odin.
Have you considered using the Russian battleship commander that's got the trait of anglage?
It's possible. I'd try anything just to try and get these guns working a bit more. And this is a frustrating bit. It's a Margie player keeps teasing me with side-on action and then showing me the rear of his ship you're going to see come up. So we're constantly swapping now between AP and HE.
Oh, shells.
I mean, I just got no faith. That again, you're thinking, a Margie siders on. This is party time. We hit with 1 shell and it does about 3,000 damage.
While you're chasing this Amagi down, and let's round this Odin up, because it's an urn ship, don't forget.
Yeah, I think it's got potential. I hate to say it, but look at this person. You're relying on teammates again. You're constantly relying on teammates, because there's no point sitting at the back in this
impossible.
ship. You're not doing anything.
No.
Not unless you've got a team of cruisers against you.
Yeah.
But even then, you're better off getting up close and personal. You will wreck cruisers. You're a little bit better for fighting destroyers because you've got your sonar you can use, which is up to 5k, and your guns reload quite quick for that. So, and you've got torps as well. So destroyers have got to be careful around an Odin. I just feel that lack. I won't be afraid to go siders on in a battleship against an Odin. I'd take that chance if it meant getting an extra 2 guns back on him.
True.
I think it can take some punishment. It's not like it's a weak ship that just gets wiped out, but I've not got that many hit points to play with. I think the Vladivostok's got over 72,000, something like that. Or more, I think 76, something like that.
Torpedo reduction as well.
Yeah, he's got 14,000 hit points or something like that on top of you before you even start. And his guns are a lot more potent than yours. His rudder shift's quicker, his turn circle's massive. But his rudder shift is quicker.
Like 1,000 metres, isn't it?
Nearly, I think stock it's about 980 or something like that. But we're just finish off this Amagi now. Finally, we're doing a fair amount of damage close up and personal. So for me, the Odin, it's good. I love the Eisenhower at 6. I thought this was going to be an higher tier Eisenhower at 8. The playstyle at tier 7 doesn't allow it to flourish.
It's very similar to the Gneisenau, but you only see 6 and 7 rather than 5 and 6 and 7.
Yeah.
So you pigeonholed into higher tiers, which is a shame.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't suit the higher tier games, does it? It's not OP.
No,
it's definitely not OP. It's very good.
In a certain situation, it can be deadly.
Yeah.
But in a general tier 7 game, when all tier 7s are going backwards at the beginning, you need to be up close and personal. If they're fighting you at 17 kilometre ranges and backing up, it's hard to close that range down to become powerful.
Put it this way, right? If you're in the store, you see the Sharners, like 30 odd pounds, and then this is on earn for what, 27, which is £7 a month. earn this. It's basically the same, but just a higher tier version. Anyway, that was a little tip if anyone ever bothers watching the end of our videos. Anyway, Killers05, thank you very much for your Odin knowledge, and later.